Welcome, welcome to Petal Steel Pipe Industry of Indonesia TBK Analyst Meeting for position first half 2022. Thank you for your participation and we believe all of you in the good health. Let me introduce our speakers for this analyst meeting. First, Mr. Teja Sukmana Hudianto as Vice President Director. And second, Mr. Johannes Wahyu Edward as Chief Strategy and Business Development Officer, Corporate Secretary, and Investor Relations. For your information, Mr. Johannes Wahyu Edward will present the presentation of first half 2022 results. Please remain silent during presentation, which will last around 30 until 45 minutes. Let's get started. This meeting, please welcome Mr. Johannes Wahyu Edward as our speaker that will present our first half 2022 results. Pak Jo, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Resti. Without further ado, let's start the discussion. For those who have not get the material, can download it from our website as well. So basically, as we know, the first half of this year has been filled with enormous uncertainty. I mean, in both geopolitics, supply chain disruption, as well as inflationary pressure. But despite that condition, SPINDO managed to achieve 44.84% increase in sales as compared to first half 2021. We are very grateful because this improvement is happened during and inside the very challenging trading environment due to the volatile commodity price, especially steel, and economic uncertainty. This strong sales performance, dominated by infrastructure-related products such as spiral pipe non-API, which normally used in project-related sales. This product mix also significantly affect other aspects as well on our book, such as the receivables, and thus involve and increase our requirement for working capital as well. In line with our strategy, the growth in API standard pipe also satisfactory. However, the export market is still struggling, even though it's also improved. We have a new commissioner member, independent commissioner in our board, namely Ibu Weli Tantono and Pak Bing Hartono Purnomosidi. And I would like to take this opportunity to briefly introduce her. So Bu Weli Tantono is born in Indonesia but have American citizenship. She graduated from Duke University Law and from Harvard previously, both with honor in USA. She have very extensive experience, especially in the GCG, and right now she is also actively work as lecturer in University of Singapore. She is fluent in English, Mandarin, Japanese, German, French, and Indonesia with varying level of competency. She is also involved in International Trademark Association, Associate of Corporate Council in Singapore, Intellectual Property of Singapore, and other become speakers in various conferences. The second new independent commissioner is Pak Bing, Mr. Bing Hartono Purnomosidi, which have economic bachelor from Universitas Airlangga and have very extensive experience in the auditing and financial consulting matter. He was previously worked in the Arthur Andersen and become the member of Indonesian Institute of Accountant as well. So we hope with these two new member of this board of commissioner, SPINDO will further strengthen the corporate governance and further the performance of SPINDO itself. Business overview is still the same. We make pipes, so we do not sit in the upstream level. We sit in the middle and downstream level of steel products. So we did not compete with Krakatau Steel, we do not compete with Gunung Raja Paksi, but we use their products for our manufacturing. We have HFW, SSAW, which is straight weld and spiral weld. Also TIG for stainless steel pipe and services for coating, etc. In 2021, again, we are the largest steel pipe in Indonesia by quite far. This as compared to Krakatau pipe industry as well as Bakri pipe. These numbers are going from their annual reports. And we are the only Indonesian steel pipe manufacturer with certified with UL/FM standard to be used in sprinkler system in US and Canada. We are the only capable making of 100 inch with 25 thickness pipe. We are the only manufacturer that capable of making schedule 80 with up to 2.5 inch using Kusakabe machine, also the only one in Indonesia. We are also the only steel pipe manufacturing uses a blow galvanized technology, which ensure a uniform and better coating quality. This is the machine that we use. We also have a very unique GI pipe composition that have a high tensile but also higher elongation. In regards to environmental and sustainability, we are very much comply by obtaining ISO 14001 and establishment of SPINDO LSP to support government educated skilled labor. We also comply with ISO 45000 2018, ensuring occupational health and safety standard. As previously mentioned, in first half 2022, the product mix mainly come from spiral pipe non-API, this is 22%, followed by black pipe non-API as well as water pipe and other products. For distribution channel, 70% approximately we sell directly to end users, and approximately 30% we sell through distributors. Hence, with this combination, 69% of our products is construction, infra, and utilities related, while 17% is goes to furniture, 14% goes to automotive, and less than 1% goes to oil and gas. We have approximately 2,000 to 3,000 active customer every year, which no one is comprised of more than 5% of our sales. Some highlights of the first half achievement, as I mentioned before, the revenue is increased by 44.8%. We achieve 13.9% gross margin, which is better than the first quarter. We also slightly improved net margin of 6.1%. There is a typo, 6.1%. With EBITDA of 385 billion. If you can see, as we can see here, the product is mainly increased from the spiral pipe non-API significantly as compared to first half 2021. Other products is increased as well, but not so much. For illustration, this pipe usually used for piling. Mainly used for piling. This is the piling of Emily project in Australia. So given the nature of the global condition, at the moment we need to improve our sales turnover because the sales steel price is now still on the downtrend. Even though for the last couple of days we see some incremental in the steel price. However, it is best to be conservative and we focus more on the sales turnover. As you can see here, the steel price is been down from the peak on April on the third quarter of 2021, and now it's slightly going up again. So the important part of this is that even though the steel price is down, we managed to maintain the difference between our selling of our bare black pipe products to the raw material. This is important because, as you know, we have quite a long inventory level due to the extensive range of product, and this is going to be beneficial in the longer run. So this is the first quarter whereby the margin was depressed. Right now it's going up again. Second quarter was usually weaker than the other quarter due to the extended public holidays. Yeah. This year we know the public holiday was lasted quite long, hence the volume of sales is very low. As you can see, I mark all the second quarters in every year is usually the highest, yeah, always the highest requirement for working capital. Nonetheless, the sales value for the second quarter of 2022 actually still higher than the second quarter in 2021 as well as in the second quarter 2019. Yeah, so we still have high hopes that the remaining quarter of 2022 will be better as well. Yeah. So even though we consider this is a weak quarter, but the result stated that this is actually still higher than second quarter of 2021, even the second quarter of 2019, which was our best performing year. So we need to take also into account the global condition, which is still under pressure. So in line with the sales expansion, as previously mentioned, the product mix which more focus on the spiral pipe extended the working capital, hence the cash flow operation is negative. But we can see the negative here is already less than first quarter, which means that we slowly can recuperate and recover from the requirement of working capital. We do expect in the later quarter this minus will be turned into positive, along with the reducing inventory level as well as in the increase of sales. As usual, as you can see here, the second quarter usually the lowest, reflecting higher holidays. We also install new orbital saw cutting machine, which is effectively increase the cutting capability, and we have also already installed a new machinery for stainless steel, which now already commenced testing. Yeah. So in August, we will start selling. We will have also additional API product machinery in Karawang, which will projected to be commenced in December 2022. From supplier perspective, the composition almost the same, with Jingsan here as a significant purchase, replacing several sellers. Yeah. But still mainly from JV, Krakatau Steel and Bawo Group. So global economy overview heavily affecting our performance. As you can see, the US declined for the second quarter. Yeah, economy shrink at 0.9%. Slight second drop, even though Ms. Yellen said that there's no recession yet, but the data stated that they have been declining for 2 consecutive quarters. Yeah, even though the decline is slightly only. You can see here the inflation in America, in US is still increase, even though the Fed rate is already aggressively increase the interest rate. This combination make IMF / global GDP forecast and stated as the gloomy and more uncertain. Even China is projected to slow down after a good start in 2022 due to the lockdowns, which disrupt heavily and significantly on the economic. Gas price also contribute to the global crisis, making the energy crisis worsen. You can see here, actually every crisis make the gas lower, but due to the red line, which is the start of Ukraine war, then the gas price is still increasing. For the steel, we can see that actually the global and China production is actually slightly higher on the first part of 2022, but remains stable. Yeah. It's not, and it's getting less, it's getting lower. So the tendency is for China manufacturer also to reduce their production. With this, we see that the impact is already happening. As I mentioned before, the trend from April 2022 is declining in the steel price, but for the past month, for the past couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, the steel price is very stable and even increased. This one is in China. Yeah. Same thing happened in US as well as in Europe. In regards to this price, we see also the main raw material for steel is still on the relatively high price, which is the coal and the iron ore. And the iron ore was decreased, but then was already bottoming and then increased again. So we know that every ton of steel require 1.7 ton of coal and 700 ton of iron ore plus 250 kilo of scrap. So this all combination making this price very thin to this price. This create a pressure for the blast furnace in China as well. As we know, approximately 70% of the steel from the world is produced by a blast furnace. How about Indonesia? I wouldn't talk too much about Indonesia because I believe our fellow analysts know better. Just some highlights that Indonesia is basically still in a relatively better position as compared to its peers. We can see that from the currency, this is a July number, we only depressed 4.06% as compared to Malaysian ringgit, baht, especially, and yen and Turkish lira. Of course, Russian ruble is in different territory alone because they are in war. Yeah. GDP growth still impressive, more than 5%, and inflation is still under control even though the latest numbers say that still under 5%, 4.94%. But we believe the inflation is still much more or less under control, even still less than Singapore, South Korea, etc. Sector-wise, we see very good growth in transportation, information and telecommunication, as well as construction and manufacturing. So this is the sectors that we supply. So that's why we have high hopes and confidence that the later quarter of 2022 will be much better. So as you can see, the composition, the manufacturing industry still comprise the one of the largest chunk with 19.9%. Construction comprised of 10%, and also mining and quarrying, which is increasing, is take a significant portion of the GDP. Bloomberg have this survey whereby Indonesia is one of the very least country that is possible to have recession. Yeah, this is very good news for us. Even Philippines have 8% chance, Malaysia have 13% chance, South Korea have 25%, and Sri Lanka is the highest with 85% chance of recession. So with this survey, which is conducted both in domestic and offshore, means that Indonesia is very well trusted by investors. I believe in the other presentation conducted by Indonesian Stock Exchange as well shows that actually foreign investors are still buying Indonesian stocks. Manufacturing PMI still above 50, meaning that the economy still grow, and you can see as well automotive sales in 2022. Every month is apart from May, because this is Hari Raya. But apart from this month, every month is outperforming the 2021. And this is also the sector that we supply, and we do hope that due to the government stimulus, etc., by VAT exemption, this can be even better. Infrastructure in 2022 still become the focus. Bu Sri Mulyani herself stated that we still need to build more infrastructure, especially in the developing the IKN in 2022. So we believe the 2022 the prospect for Indonesian manufacturing, especially for steel and construction, is still much better. So what is the conclusion of the previously mentioned for us SPINDO in 2022? Previously we set our strategy to do this, to do the following, and I'm happy to report that the plan is still on track. We have the 8-inch stainless steel pipe already done. Now it's undergo testing, and then we will be commencing commercial production in this month. 16-inch is still under discussion and preparation. We are in preparation of another 2 depots, one in Sidoarjo and one in Makassar, which is going to be open very soon. Established rep office as well already conducted, and everything is on progress. We also set the target area previously in export market, oil and gas, and construction infrastructure. Now I'm happy also to report that in the first half 2022, the export market up by 26.4%. The oil and gas up by 398%. The infrastructure is up by 54.2%. Very good. I mean, we believe our focus for this year is accurate, and we will strive to pursue further for the rest of the year as well as the next year. So in line with our extensive program, we do more effort in sales and marketing. We are now joining exhibitions. This is the mega build exhibitions that we participate. This is the ARC ID. It's also in July we participate, which is where we get a very good lead, both for projects as well as other end users. Very interesting, which is also new for us. Previously, the last time we have joined the exhibition, I think, is many years back. We also intensify the customer gathering, because this is the way we reach the end users more effectively, and we do the testing so they can experience the difference, experience the SPINDO advantage firsthand. Yeah. We do also education by Instagram. We also actively train our distributor salesperson. So this is the training we conducted in one of our distributors, and we also participate with consultants and associations. This all to promote and to educate the SPINDO difference and competitive advantage as compared to other steel pipe. We see that these all efforts have fruits, bearing fruits, but of course cannot be done overnight, and it's getting more grip for the next year. For sustainability initiatives, we have completed the 2 plants installation of the solar panel, and pending permit, we will install in the rest of the plant. Some of the projects that we participate, this is just example of the selected projects that we do. So for 2022, I think as I mentioned before, we believe the strategy is on track, so we will continue that. Even though the global condition is highly uncertain, we believe Indonesia is in a relatively better position, so we have positive and expansive position to that. However, due to the uncertainty and the volatility of the global condition, the management will take more conservative position and more conservative approach to its financial posture. Yeah, we will. That's also the reason we conduct the bond and issuance sukuk in order to strengthen our liquidity, whereby we still committed to reduce our inventory level so that we have better liquidity and financial position. Given all the opportunities and challenges, we still aim to achieve 20 to 30% in sales volume, but slightly adjusted net margin to 7 to 9% from previously 10%. Yeah. I think with that I conclude my presentation. Maybe next we enter into Q&A, or Pak Teja, you have additional remarks, Pak Teja?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, Resti, please go ahead with Q&A.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Pak Jo, for insightful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering the Q&A session. If you have any question, you can drop the question in the chat box that provided in the Zoom apps, or directly click reaction button, raise hand, and then tell your name and your company. During waiting for the question from our analysts, there are questions from some analysts that already registered in this meeting. First, from Lloyd, what contribution to gross margin decline is attributable to product mix, non-API spiral, and falling steel prices?
Okay. So basically every product mix have their own margin level. the highest product which have the highest margin is the water pipe. Unfortunately, the spiral pipe non-API was not among the top best margin we have, especially due to the volume. Yeah, what we need not forget, we cannot forget that still basically is a volume game. So the bigger the volume, the lower the margin will be. However, we believe we still have the leading edge for improving the margin for the rest of the year. Maybe Pak Teja, you wanna add?
Yes. Yes. According to what so we explained by Mr. Joe is true. Yeah. So product mix is very important for us. So also how we can sell more quantity for this kind of high margin product. But this first semester, this one is of course due to the drop of the price. Yeah, so price we have to adjust the price accordingly. Of course, it's not according like because basically Indonesia is quite unique. Yeah, because of the a lot of regulation to use the import is quite helpful. And secondly, also the tractor still try to maintain high price. Plus, they have to reduce the price accordingly, but not like import. In import is reduced more than octal. So by that, so we also have no choice, and we have to reduce the price according to the market. But it means our price reduction still not so much compared to the import. So we have to still a chance to recover. So our margin in this second semester.
Okay, thank you, Pak Teja. We maybe I would like to add some more, Resti. Hold on, ya.
Yes,
Wait. I would like again to reiterate this slide. Of course, the improvement of margin cannot be done overnight. Yeah. But if you can see here, from 2018 to now, we have been constantly improving the margin between the sales price of black pipe to our raw material. Yeah. This is due to the two main factors. First, of course, we need to have a very good inventory purchasing network. So in order to get the best price material available. But the sales part is also play a very important role, whereby by selling the SPINDO pipe as a branded product, known by its quality, consistency, yeah, we can maintain the premium. As you know, for end users, for direct pipe users, consistency and quality is much more important rather than just pure price. Yeah. For manufacturers, you can have cheap price of raw material, but if you cannot guarantee the continuity, what for? Your workshop become idle, and you can maybe have a cheaper products, but then the defect is more, so eventually will cost you more expenses. Yeah. So this is the reason why we can maintain that the degree of the decrease of this raw material is less than the degree of the less than sales price. Yeah. So I think with that I also answer the question from Pak Hartono. Yeah. We can mitigate, Pak. We can mitigate the margin or the down trend of the steel price, but of course not head to head. but using other sales mix and other product mix as our mitigation. Yeah. I think that's it. Resti, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Jo. There's a question from Jacob. Is it possible new capital city will increase window sales?
Sorry, say again.
Is it possible new capital city will increase window sales?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, the first phase of the IKN is definitely the infrastructure which will use a lot of base material like cement, steel, and among that is definitely pipe. So again, yeah, we have high hopes that this IKN will boost our sales, and we have already anticipate by having a depot not far from the new IKN.
Okay, Pak. Thank you. So the other question from our analyst is how to optimize the operational cost.
Okay, basically the easy answer is by selling and produce more. Yeah. So as I mentioned before, still is a volume game. So by selling and producing more, we can have a much more efficient cost. And with that remarks, yeah, I also want to highlight that SPINDO is the biggest capacity in the steel pipe, so we have the most efficient manufacturing costs as compared to other corporations. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pak Jo. So maybe there's another question from Mr. Bagus Lianto from Masindo Arta Sekuritas. The question is production outlook due to high inflation and sales projection till end 2022.
Yeah, basically as we know, the second half of the year usually is better than the first half, because in the second half the budget from government related body is down, so production and sales should be better. Maybe Pak Teja, you want to add on that?
Yeah. It's always like seasonally also accept because of the government will spend more on the second half. So and also what I thought automotive the before they had problem with semiconductor, right? The sales production Yamaha, so Honda impacted by the thing, and they could not produce so much. But that's good news after the lockdown more settled in Shanghai area. So Honda can get more semiconductors, and they revised the forecast already for this August and above. So then they increased the production in August, October, September, October, November, and December. That's a good news. And secondly, also the third one, we see the improvement in the private sectors, especially in the property sectors. So we see a lot of new development, right? And some project they're going to start, and some project maybe they have postponed before, now they started again. Yeah. And then besides of the infrastructure from the government, we see also some infrastructure project from the private, like not infrastructure, like the factory expansion, and the project in the like smelters related to the mining. Yeah. So this also coming. Yeah. So a lot of things we see. That's why we're quite optimistic in the second semester this year. We can improve our sales more.
Okay, thank you, Pak Teja, for the answer. So maybe the other question is from Mr. Robertus Hardy from Henan Putih Rai Sekuritas. Is there any guidance on fiscal year 2022 revenue, EBITDA, and net profit?
Okay, as I mentioned, the top line we expecting to get 20 to 30% increase as compared to 2021. Well, considering currently we already have like more than that, so we are quite confident that we will achieve the target. For gross margin, expecting at least 15 to 17%. Net margin 7 to 9%, but of course we definitely strive to do better. For that, we are aiming to reduce the debt exposure.
Okay, thank you, Pak Jo. So there's other question from Mr. Hartono. Does the company know who is the strongest competitor in the terms of pricing, quality, and production volume?
Yes, thank you. Basically, as I mentioned before, there is a lot of competitor. Even though size-wise, as you can see in the presentation, in 2021 we are like 3 or 5 times better than the closest competitor that provide their performance. However, as I also mentioned before, especially for end users, consumers, the continuity of supply is very much important. There can be occasional condition that one of our competitor can give like very good price. Maybe they're in requirement for cash flow, or they maybe in requirement to, or they have some old inventory, but the amount is very limited. So what for? Yeah, we have history and experience that our customers try to switch our product to other competitor, but due to the uncertainty of the continuity, then they switch back. It so happened. So eventually, the stickiness of every manufacturer is quite high. The barrier to entry is not that easy, especially in regards to the continuity, especially in time like this, whereby imports are very limited, very difficult to do, as well as the limited source from domestic. Maybe Pak Teja, you wanna add on that, Pak?
Yeah. For especially for raw material, raw material now is very quite limited. So from local is Krakatau steel and some Raja Paksi, but it is depend on the availability of the slabs and everything. So and then import now is more limited because of the Indonesia just issued the anti-dumping duty against the Chinese hot coil, alloy hot coil. Before, mostly the import from China using the alloy hot coil. Because of the non-alloy, there are anti-dumping duty also against the Chinese from China, the product from China. And also the anti-dumping duty is still there for product from Thailand, product from India, and also product from other Russia and others. And Indonesia, as you know, we have a different anti-dumping, a different duty, especially about hot coil. Generally, we have a 15% import duty. That's why we can only import the hot coil from the free trade country. The free trade country is mainly from Russia, from Asian country. But Asian country now is only limited to the Vietnam, because of the Malaysia last time had problem with the steel mill, and the mega steel has been bankrupted, and the mill also from Thailand, like the G Steel and GJ Steel, also have a financial problem. SSI also has a financial problem. That's right, that the price from Malaysia, from Thailand, also quite expensive. The only one is only from Vietnam. Yeah. So then with the and also from Korea and Japan. Korea, of course, subject to 5% import duty, and only from Japan. But Japan production also because the machine is very old and the production is now is going down. And Japan mainly focusing on the domestic first. So if domestic is especially in the automotive sector, this automotive sector is doing good, and they don't have so much allocation also to supply to other countries. This makes this kind of things makes our position is quite strong because of our volume is big, and we have also long-term relation with this kind of supplier from Japan, also suppliers from Korea, and also suppliers from, of course, from local, also from Autosir, and also from Raja Paksi, and also we have relation with supplier from China. China is only one company is exempted from the anti-dumping duty, is called Wisco. So we have also long-term relation also with them. We already buy from since 2006 until now. This strategy, we are not the spot buyer, we are not also hit and run buyer. So we buy constantly. That's why they still suppliers they support us. So this kind of inventory also one of the important things for us, because of we don't want to fight only based on price. So we want to fight based on the delivery, faster delivery time. Yeah. So this makes us, we can sell as a premium compared to our competitor. We have not so much inventory. So especially during this time when the price going down, for example, in inventory not so much in the market. So we can sell, we don't need to reduce so much because of the inventory not so much in the market, and we can still sell even though the volume is not so much like before, because everybody nervous and worrying about the price drop. But demand still there. When the demand still there, so it means still somebody is looking, for the price, looking for the material, and looking for the quick delivery, and we can do it. Yeah. So this also is based on our experience, for 50 years experience. So we believe, so by having an inventory, we can supply time to time, on time, and we can give them some customer like a confidence. So they don't need to worry if they don't have material, but we always have, and we can supply them as a need. Even the project is the same. Sometimes like this time when the price going up at that time was a lot of project is over the budget, but now price is dropped. Now also they time that they can match the price. So then the delivery time is very short. So then we can do it because we have a material, and we can supply and get the order from this kind of a customer. So inventory is one of the very important things for us, for our strategy. So delivery quickly to our customer. So that's why we have also depot. We have a depot in Makassar, depot in Samarinda, also depot in Jakarta, Bandung. Also then we can supply even small quantity, but also quick delivery. So it's almost impossible to supply quick delivery from Surabaya. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Pak Teja and Pak Jo. So there's others question from Pak Hartono again. Why the income tax cash flow payment posture in the first half 2022 significantly different compared to first half 2021?
Okay, it's because in accordance to tax regulation, we need to have floating more than 40%, which is not accounted any investors that is more than 5%. However, we do have new investors right now which have more than 5%. So we were exempted in 2022 to be on the tax relief of 3%. However, we are working on it, and hopefully we can solve that very soon. But I need to reiterate that that's got nothing to do with our operation performance, and as long as the tax regulation is there, albeit that me personally think that it's unfair, but we have to follow the regulation and we have to pay the tax accordingly.
Okay, thank you, Pak Jo. So there's other question from Albert. Regarding the steel record price for the last 2 months, it kept decreasing up to 20 until 30%. Is there any opportunity for SPINDO to do some adjustment for mechanical prices, especially for furniture, in order to increase the mechanical tube sales?
Yeah, go ahead, Pak Teja. You wanna take that? Asking for discount, Pak Teja.
Not clear because the signal maybe not so good.
Basically, he said Pak Albert is asking whether we can adjust our furniture pipe because in the rebar market the price is decreased to 20-30% already. So he was asking whether we can adjust accordingly, Pak. So
basically the price is subject to not only the raw material price and completed price, right? It's subject to the availability of the material. Yeah, so as long as we feel, because our customer is not only one and two, we have several customers. So we see if majority of customers they can accept high price, why we have to lower the price? Yeah, so this is also one of our strategy. Yeah, as long as we can still maintain, of course we will reduce maybe, but not like 20% or 30%. No. Maybe we have to reduce here, but no need to follow the market. Yeah. We believe the material availability is also one of the important things. This is our strategy. We have material. We can supply anytime they want. Yeah, so for example, today they need the material, tomorrow we can supply. Yeah, our company maybe they can offer the cheap material, but maybe delivery more longer. Yeah.
Thank you, Pak Teja. And for Pak Albert, I think above that we can talk, Pak. Even though definitely not 20-30%, but we can talk. Please contact our nearest and your our good representative in Bandung. In Bandung we have Pak Rizky in our depot. You can contact him. He will take care of you very good. Okay, Resti, go ahead.
Okay, Pak Jo, thank you for the response. So maybe the last question from Mr. Chandra Pasaribu from Yuanta Sekuritas Indonesia. How about outlook for second half for 2022?
Yeah, maybe Pak Teja wanna take that first, Pak.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Basically, as mentioned before, due to the cyclicality of this business, we believe the second half would be better than the first half. That's number one. Number two, of course, considering the uncertainty and the volatility of the global condition as well as the regional condition, we will be more conservative. We will focus more on the sales, to ensure the turnover as well as the inventory management is optimum. Yeah, but again, general guidance will be, we still have a high hope that the second quarter will be much better than the first half, especially at least because there's no Lebaran. Yeah, wanna add that, Pak Teja?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Not so much, but I think we have to watch carefully what happening also in outside, especially this more political issue, right? Regarding not only the Russia and Ukraine, but also China and US, because of the I don't know, this today everyone is just watching whether Miss Pelosi will visit Taiwan or not. This is also one thing we are watching. What happens if really Pelosi visit Taiwan? Then what will be action from China? Yeah, we have to be very carefully. Yeah, everything we have to do it carefully. Yeah. But again, for the sales, of course, we focus sales to get more and more volume, and also not only sales, but we have to be very careful with payment from the customer. And the third one, also, we still continue doing improvement in our operation. Yeah, by changing the machine, improve the machine, then we can make we can run more faster and cut some costs, and to make our productions more efficient.
Okay, good. Thank you. Go on, Resti.
Okay, thank you for the comprehensive answer, Pak Jo and Pak Teja. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we are reaching the end of analyst meeting today, we hope that we delivered the financial results position of first half 2022 to all attendees. Any question not have been answered, our investor relation team will gladly accommodate the answer for you. If you need further information, please contact korsek@spindo.co.id. We would like to express our gratitude for your participation today. So you may now leave the Zoom meeting application. Thank you, stay safe, and see you in the next hour analyst meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you, Pak Teja.
Thank you. Thank you.